I've been on Zoloft 100 milligrams for 4 months now. Zoloft is an SSRI, and I just wanted to make an update about how it's going because when I was starting out on it, I was desperately looking for update videos and help, and I always thought I'd come back if it worked out and kind of update people and give more resources out there to just hear from somebody that's further along in it. So I'm at 4 months at 100 milligrams. So I did a Zoloft 3 month update video that answered a lot of questions, but since then I've had a lot of other things that I've noticed and I want to get into. Um, One of them is that I didn't mention. The other one is I'm a lot more patient with children. Like I have 5 nephews, and I used to be able to. I love my nephews, but sometimes I could only take them in small doses. I would get annoyed and not want to play as long as they want to play. Like they want to play a lot longer than I would want to. And I kept making excuses about like not like later I'll do it. Let's play later. Oh, tomorrow, buddy. And just putting them off and not making them felt connected. With Zoloft, I find I'm much more patient with them, and I much more want to play. I want to be around them more. I want to. It used to bother me. We'd play a game and they don't really know the rules and they're just kind of making it up and it's like hard to follow. Now I like that. I don't care that if we don't know the rules. I don't care that we're just around each other. It's way different. I'm a much better uncle being on Zoloft than off of it. And I imagine, I don't have kids, but I imagine being with your kids would make you, you know, I imagine I would be a better parent if I had kids because you just have a lot more patience and you're a lot less irritable and sensitive. Um, and that kind of goes with all my relationships. I'm better with my family. I'm better with my mom. My mom can get on my nerves. She just can bother me. I don't know. She just has this ability to bother me. But now that I'm on Zoloft, I'm much more patient with her, and I'm much more interested in her, right? Like I'm interested in how she became who she is, what her childhood was like, what her parents were like. Whereas before, I just saw her as my mom. I didn't really see her as a person who was a kid that grew up and had this whole separate life. I wasn't really asking about her. But now that I'm older and on Zoloft, I'm more interested in other people and I'm more interested in my family and their experience in life and how they grew up and how they were shaped, right? That's interesting to me. I like the psychology of it. And it gives you insight into who you are. And like maybe some things that I was resentful for, it's like, oh yeah, I didn't realize my mom had it this hard or this, she's lived a crazy life. And it makes things make more sense. I put better with a spouse, not that I have a spouse, but I do see how that would translate to being better with a spouse, being more patient and a big part is being less sensitive. I'm much less sensitive to criticism. I'm much less sensitive when I'm irritated about something else, and then go and talk to another person. Sometimes I'm already ramped up and they say the smallest thing and I would blow up. And it really wasn't necessarily about what they said, because if I was in a good mood and they said that same thing, I wouldn't have blown up. But it was just because I was so frustrated from all the stuff that happened during the day at work, other arguments I'd gotten into or this or that. And it built and I didn't know how to let it go. This, I've noticed it's much easier to compartmentalize work and then realize if I come home, this is a separate person, and they say something, it's a completely different person. They don't know about the rest of my day, that I'm already a little bit upset, and it makes me less upset. Like I'm able to just be in those situations that would bother me. People don't annoy me as easily, and so I don't get as bothered. I'm very rarely upset anymore, whereas I used to get mad all the time at work or frustrated. Um, Oh, this is a good one. I pick who I let in my life more. I'm more, I think before, when I had a lot of anxiety, I would kind of be more codependent because I would clutch at people to help me, like to make me feel better. Whereas now I'm more discerning about who I let in my life. Like I'm less, I don't feel judgment as much. Like maybe if I like was talking to like somebody at work who could be a friend or could be like a girlfriend, I might feel like if we had a bad interaction that I would feel negative about myself, and say that I'm the problem or I messed that up, and feel bad about it. Whereas now, if I talk to somebody or I talk to a girl that I'm attracted to but it doesn't go well, I don't feel that it's me. I feel like it's just not meant to be. Like I'm much more accepting of it. And I go, oh, that's a pretty girl, but we do not click in personality. And that's okay. There's a big difference there. Big difference between it being personal and it being just not a match. And that kind of goes with all my relationships, my friendships, and you have a lot of people that kind of float in and out of your life, and maybe some friends that you've had for a long time, but you've kind of grown apart. I'm much more accepting of that. It's okay that we grow apart because we have lived many years in different lives in different cities and different experiences, and I think that's natural. Not to say that I don't have some that I do keep around. I'm more accepting of coming and going of relationships. I joined a church group. I joined an online Zoom group meetup. And this was a big one for me because that's something I've been, in AA meetings, I kind of learned a little bit about spirituality because I didn't grow up with it. And I do find myself wanting more of that. But I have gone to churches and I have gone to other like meetups and found them very frustrating because I was very judgmental. I was very judgmental of the people. And I realize now that the people are just people. They're just out there trying to get help too. So I can't judge what is being offered by the people that are offering it. You can a little bit. Obviously, you got to choose who is in your life. But in this online group, I'm more consistent. I show up every week, whereas before I would kind of come and go, which gives me more credibility and like they can depend on me more. Two, I'm more involved. I'm less likely to sit in the back and just kind of listen. I'll actually say what I think now. So I'm more involved. And another one is I'm less judgmental. Like I just see these again as people that are in and out of my life. It doesn't have to be a judgmental thing. I don't have to hold them to this incredible standard just because they're in a church group, and I don't have to be at an incredible standard for myself because I'm in a church group. Those are things we put on. Those are human things we put on this like God relationship that I think I'm guilty of doing in the past, and I'm learning to not judge the message by the people, and to find the people that I do connect with. I found it easier not to drink alcohol. That's a huge one for me because that was such a big coping mechanism for me, is to have anxiety and need a drink. Like I couldn't go in social situations. Like I couldn't go on a date before. Like it would always be, let's go get drinks, or let's go here and then we'll order drinks and then we'll, do this or that. Whereas now I can be in social situations and not have to drink, not feel that urge to drink because I don't have that anxiety. So the reason I would drink is because I wanted to get rid of that anxiety so that I could be more myself. Well, this kind of took a shortcut and has allowed me to not feel that anxiety, so I don't need that drink. So I can be myself more. And again, with the relationships of allowing people to come and go and not judging myself or judging them, it's allowed me just to be present and be who I am and wait for the right connection. Sounds easy, right? Like I don't know why I couldn't do that before, but I think it just had to do with the anxiety. I was not okay with myself. I was not okay with who I am. I wasn't okay with where I'm at in life. I wasn't okay being open about my mental health struggles or my addiction struggles, so I was always hiding. Now I'm much more likely to tell the person up front about this stuff because they're gonna find out anyways, and it's not as big of a deal because I'm not looking for anybody to accept me that's not just naturally gonna accept me. So the right person will just naturally accept that and it won't be a big deal. This was an interesting one. I'm much more interested in animals. I used to love animals when I was a kid, and like I just don't even really think about them anymore because I live in a city. But now I'm just so interested in animals. I look up animal videos because animals are just so like innocent and like interesting. There's so many different varieties, and they just fascinate me. And it's like I'm a kid again with animals. It's so random, but like I just get a real kick out of animals. I would love to get a pet now. And I think just feeling that connection with another living being, right? And like realizing, oh, we all feel things. Animals still feel things, and we're all just trying to live, man. It's just we're trying to live. And I don't know. I just really like animals again for some reason. I care less if people are mad at me. I used to couldn't stand the feeling of someone being mad at me, or I would be just as mad back, if not madder. I would, I'm a very easygoing person, but I was known to explode from time to time. So like the wrong person says the wrong thing on the wrong day, and like I'm ready to throw down. Like let's go, bro. Like fuck you. So I'm not like that as much anymore. I'm way less likely to explode or get overly angry. It's much more gradual, which is a lifesaver. Keeps me out of trouble. Let's see. Oh, I'm a better employee. This is one thing I've noticed is I don't mind being at work as much, and I'm not as sensitive. I'm not as angry about the situations because I recognize them as this is just a situation. It's not personal. Like if my boss needs me to do this extra stuff, it's not personal. He just needs that done, and that is part of the job. Sometimes you get days where you get to do less and it's more chill, and sometimes you have days where you have to do more and it's not as chill, and that's just what work is. That's just part of it. I'm much more accepting of that. I'm much more less likely to take things personal. I'm more likely to say the things that bother me before they become resentments, before they grow. So if something bothers me at the beginning, like if maybe my boss says something, I'll kind of question it a little bit more and get clarification, or kind of say my feelings on it a little bit, just to kind of let it be known. Because if I realized what I was doing before is I was never letting my feelings be known, and I would just hold it inside, and that person would keep doing that same thing that was bothering me, and it would build up over days and weeks, and eventually it'd become a resentment, and I'd just be mad all the time. I'd go to work and be mad because I'm thinking about that in my head. I'm thinking about what I'm going to say to this person. If they say this, I'm going to say that. It's just crazy. I don't need to win every argument anymore. I don't need to. Yeah, it's not personal, I guess, is the big takeaway I realized. Is it just is what it is, man. Relax. I don't mind being bored as much. I'm okay with being bored because, again, I think before, when I was alone and when I was bored, my anxiety would shoot up. And when you take away a lot of that anxiety, you're just kind of sitting here and you're not anxious. You don't need to necessarily do the next thing to distract yourself. I don't need to be distracted as much, which is a relief because I can relax more, which allows me to do the things I need to do when I need to do them, but then not overthink and judge myself that I'm being lazy or that I'm not doing what I should be doing, which leads to more laziness and more procrastination. Now I just don't even think about it, and then when I need to do it, I do it. And then I don't think about it again. It's much less brain power. Another part of that is without the anxiety, I noticed I sleep much better because I'm not laying awake in bed thinking about all the different situations and possibilities and the things that people said throughout the day, or what I said, or if I'm judging myself for what I did here or there, or said this. I don't really think about any of that stuff. I'm tired, and then I go to sleep, and then I wake up, and then yeah, I don't overthink things as much. I'm not laying awake reliving the past, you know. I'm much more in the present. Yeah, if you guys have more questions, let me know. Those are just the ones I thought of that I've been writing down over the last month, and I'm just gonna keep doing this. Keep making these videos. That last one did good, so yeah. If you have any more questions, reach out, and I'll keep track. And I know that first month, man, it's tough. It's really tough. I would get headaches. I'd be tired all the time. I would be much more emotional. I'd clench my jaw. I felt like it made me worse before it made me better. And I've talked about how, like, I don't think it, for me, I don't go on an SSRI if I am in really bad depression or anxiety because I can't take anymore. I have to wait till I'm out of it a little bit to start because I'm going to feel a little bit worse. I've learned to not clench my jaw and to stay hydrated to get rid of those headaches before they start, things like that. There's a lot to this. It's not a magic pill. It just allows you to be more you and handle the stresses of daily life more, so that you can do the things that you need to do, that you know you should be doing, which will build your confidence and will make you happy. It's an antidepressant. It's not a happy pill. It just doesn't make you, it makes you less depressed, not happy. The happiness comes from you. And really, it kind of does make you a little bit more happy, I think, but not as much as, like, it's just not a magic pill. It just allows you to be more you and find the way back to who you are and be more yourself and handle the world, handle all the stresses, and keep growing and keep going in a positive direction without being overwhelmed. And the more you do that, the more confidence you get, the better your life gets, the more problems you've taken care of, the less problems you have. You're happier. When you're happier, you attract people more. People can sense how you're feeling. They can sense your mental health a lot of times. And when you are happy and your life's going good, people start noticing it. They notice it a lot of times before you notice it. They'll start talking to you more, or they'll just comment. You'll just hear, man, you're always happy now. You know, you'll hear little comments. And you're like, oh yeah, I guess so. And a lot of it too is that you were just so depressed, and everybody noticed that too. And you maybe didn't notice that they were noticing. And so now that you're not that way, you start hearing from people more, because people don't comment when you're depressed as much, or if you're in a bad mood all the time. So I think people think if you're in a bad mood all the time, you're just a jerk. Well, some of that is just depression and anxiety, you know, and that's why you're a jerk. I think a lot of people that are angry are actually sad. And it's just, with depression, it's anger turned inward. You know, I don't want to be angry at everybody, so I'm just going to suffer in silence and be miserable. Angry people let it out. They get mad at the world. But they're part of the same negative emotions. They're just a different way that people express them, I think. That's my take on it. That's been my experience for me. And now that I don't have those negative emotions, the positive ones come out more. And people like you better when you're positive, because it makes them positive. It puts them in a better mood. And it makes, you guys feed on each other. Negative emotions feed on each other. If I'm pissed off all the time and this person's mad all the time, when we clash, we make each other worse. But if I'm happy all the time and this person's laughing all the time and we talk and we clash, we make each other better. We're having a better time, right? So it's one of those things that you attract which you are, and two is better than one. You know, it builds you even more. So in that direction. So that's all I got for now. Coming up on 20 minutes. So Thank you guys. Thanks for listening, and don't forget to like and subscribe.